Hello, listeners. Welcome to another episode of Corporate Elements, your go to space for the career growth, leadership tips, and workplace insights.
My name is John, and I'm joined with Robbie.
And we are diving into one of the most underrated career accelerators, networking. Whether you're a fresher or a senior professional, building meaningful connections can open doors you didn't even know existed. So grab your coffee and let's decode the art of professional networking. Welcome back to another interesting discussion. So, of course, this is one of the most cringiest topic when I started off in the networking space. When I started off in the corporate world, okay, and I heard this term called as networking. So it was like the most love to hate sort of a topics that I have heard in and out in my corporate life. So what do you think networking, like what the hell is it all about?
So, thank you for having me. I follow Naval Ravikant, and he always mentioned one thing in all his books and podcasts, specifically to be authentic. So, networking isn't about being fake, it's about being genuinely interested. Interested in it may be your content or it may be people. And networking is not just limited to your contacts. It's about a one grand gesture. It's those little moments of connection. So if you are not connected for ages and if I just call you randomly, will you appreciate it?
I would think it would be more awkward sort of situation. Why is he calling me like suddenly like?
Exactly.
So in a way, you're saying that networking is not only about connecting; it is about nurturing a relationship. It is also about being genuinely connected without being fake at the same time. Is
Right.
what you're trying to put.
Right.
Awesome.
Basically, I shouldn't appear as a selfish person, and for that, if I contact you, it will be awkward for me to ask something. So that is the reason we said that we have to be patient. It's not just one grand gesture. It's those small moments.
It's like workplace connections, but outside workplace, and sort of what we have right now, that we connect on a time to time basis, and then suddenly it is turning into something a much more fruitful connections is how networking works, but you have to give it a lot of time and thought about it,
Exactly.
which is very rightly put. Now my next question is like, why and like what kind of networking are you looking in the wild of the corporate offices and those professional environment? What are we like talking about? Is it like those water cooler chats, or like a strategic elevator rides, or something where you went in a business class sort of aeroplane situation where you are tracking these? Like what exactly are you is it happening in the networking space?
I've read recently that according to LinkedIn, 85% of jobs are filled through networking.
Correct.
You're more likely to land a job through a contact than through applying on a job portal.
Mhm.
And in a corporate world, imagine that you're in your workforce environment, you're working in a process. So basically, what is that? That is your operational network. It is just limited to your process. Think of a situation, a guy, he's working in an audit department and he interacts with the people that he work with on a day-to-day basis, and who all those people will be. That will be your colleagues, or maybe some cross-functional teammates, since you're a part of audit team and you're doing review of other processes as such, or those who help you or you want to get things done. So in a corporate world, this is the space where it is limited to.
Awesome. So my next question is, what exactly networking does, like for a individual? Like, is it like a person, can they thrive with or without it? Like I want to discuss this one particular myth that you can or cannot survive without networking. Like, can we discuss on that particular portion?
Yes, of course, you can definitely survive without networking, but you won't thrive. For you to go to next level, you have to strategically expand your network. Okay, for example, if I ask you to write down the name of 15 people in matter of 10 seconds with whom you can network related to your process, and you can do that.
Correct.
Okay, it will be only limited to your workforce and to your teammates. What if you want to expand, or you're an entrepreneur, or you want to expand your business? Okay, you want to increase your reach. So for that, you need to expand to a level of personal network.
Correct.
And for that, what you can do is you can collect with your friends, maybe from college, or maybe family, or the people whom you have worked in the past, or someone from your cricket club, or maybe your marathon club. And that way it will be awkward to ask anything, because it's a social environment you meet them with. And another thing you can do is you can try and do a strategic network. For example, if you want to crack business deals, maybe you can learn golfing, or you can start golfing. That's where a lot of business decisions take place. Or maybe you can connect with the people with the similar roles or from the similar industries.
So yes, so in a certain way, it is not a myth, but it is somewhere a sort of a reality that networking is necessary. It is just that you need to apply it in situations depending on your goals. So I remember you were talking about, like, your different types of networking as such. So do you have something like what types of situations that you have come across in different types of like networking situations?
So like what we just defined was the type of networking itself: internal networking, where we are trying to connect with colleagues and cross-functional teams, or external networking. For that, maybe we can look into the medium through which we can do networking. LinkedIn is one of the finest platforms. I have been receiving messages from individuals who are trying to get into the industry I'm working in. And maybe a digital networking, I can try and leverage a platform. Maybe I can get access to certain data from the seller or from the social media, whoever is trying to sell. If I want to target the market audience of people who are into jobs, so maybe I'll reach out to LinkedIn.
Awesome. And now let's, like we spoke a bit about, the things that are within that particular purview, but what about like some real life, experiences? So like, for example, how are you doing your bit into networking? Like, how are you personally trying to do it?
So take this podcast for example. We have been this was revived in October 2024, and now we are collaboratively trying to take it forward, since we believed we have a common vision, and we have believed in the content. And for that, recently our reach was limited to what we discuss is internal and the external networking. But recently what I did is I tried to take a subscription of Bumble application, wherein there is another subset or another section of the business, where it is not just limited to dating. In that, and it's a paid subscription, and from that I got requests from many interesting individuals, mostly from photography and film side. But there were entrepreneurs and whom we have asked to be part of our upcoming podcast episode. We were able to reach out to some really interesting people from different businesses.
So awesome about your effort, understanding for your efforts, and making that small bit of networking connection, so that there is some kind of personal or professional growth apart from whatever you do in your daily work life. So let's get into something like, what is the secret to networking up? Like, how do you do that with bosses, leaders, or people who may seem to be out of your league in those certain situations? Like, how would you connect with certain people where you're like, oh, I don't think so he'll talk to me, or because he's my boss, or probably he's one level above or two levels above of me?
I have worked in leadership where it was expected to be addressed superiors or bosses as sirs, and it was a demand as such. And even working in the multinational companies where the culture of you was really promoted a lot, where everyone was seen at the equal level. The one thing common is that people at top, they don't want fans. Okay, they don't want followers. They want value, they want authenticity, and they want relevance. They want your views and ideas to be aligned with the goal of the process or the mission of the company or the mission of the industry.
Correct.
And for that, what you can do is I have always been curious for things, or curious to understand things, or unfold the answers of the universe, if I may say. But there the we spoke about the genuineness and the authenticity. I always had that. Okay, and I always reached out to my superiors with that, so it totally reflects in my behaviors, in my actions, and in my words.
Correct.
And this is something I remember someone gave me a feedback that this part of me which was so humble, and the leaders were impressed by that. Okay, and what I was trying to do, I was trying to prove that how smart or how accomplished I am, or something that I've done, or I want to showcase something that I've changed, or portray something that I'm doing something, or highlight something. No, it was reflecting in my work.
Okay.
So this is something I believe that the leaders are drawn to curiosity, because it signals the potential and the caliber, and not ego. And the one thing that really I believed in is, and I have implemented this in my life, is offering help to people.
Correct.
And by that I mean that whenever someone needs something, if someone is looking for something, I will proactively go out of my way and help, because during the process I used to learn things. And this used to create an image that I'm approachable and I'm helpful also.
Okay.
And this is something I would recommend, that create a meaningful connections, or create an environment where you are showcasing, or where you are a positive environment, and always be ready to offer your help. Another thing you can do is maybe you can careful about other people's time.
Okay. And of course, these are quite important things, but also I feel that just wanted to add that whenever we want to network, it is always about necessity of how that particular person might be beneficial. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Right.
Yes, obviously, but at some point of time, I feel that there are certain elements which we always overlook. Sometimes is that, oh, he's not in my team, probably he may not be that well versed with what I do, but what I make that one extra effort is that, oh, I want to understand what that person does. Sometimes from that thing that they're doing, we come to know, oh, is there something like this that they used to do? Like recently I had this one connect with someone from the change management team. So what is change management? We do not, I did not know that. I was quite naive. So I told that other person that, okay, can you educate me, what exactly is this all about and everything. And then I came to know, oh, there is something like this that happens in every organization. It's just that you do not come across such situations. So probably you think that, oh, because that person is in a different department, why should I bother to talking to that person? But in a certain way, I think this is also networking, right? You come to know that, oh, there is something like this as well. And that way, someday if some opportunity arises for someone else in your own personal life, that, oh, I need something in change management, for example, you can always ask this contact of yours that, oh, can you please help this person or not. So that way also you can make certain connections.
Perfectly. You just defined the strategic and the external way of networking.
Correct.
Because all you did a cold approach, I
Mm.
believe, and the person was like really kind enough to
Mm.
spare their time and tell you something about what they do, and you learn something new.
Correct.
And I think that's the beauty of networking. And it's a human thing. We want social connections. We want to create bond. That what makes us feel happy.
Correct.
And that is purely a legitimate way, if I may say, to create a bond
Mm.
or to do a business. Just an example. Recently, I learned driving, so I was into the parking where a friend of mine went into DMart to get some stuff, and there was this guy who was doing running, and he just randomly stopped and asked me that, okay, is there any driving school nearby? And this guy happens to work in Dubai, and he was here for a vacation. He just wants to get his hands on wheels and refresh his training maybe. And by exchanging few words, I happen to know that he works for bank in Dubai, and he asked me whether if I'm looking for opportunities, and this is just random, and it just happened. The common connection was he was looking for a driving school, and I was into car, and he was just happened to pass by. And this is like the common element that we need to identify. How good are you in doing small talks?
So for me also, yeah, that's quite very important. I remember when I started off working in whatever I do right now, is that probably as an analyst, okay, when I started as an analyst, I realized that I can only do so much of work where I can only learn this much. Like say for example, we had a target of like 20 cases or 20 instances or 20 issues that were supposed to be done. But it would be only limited to those 20 issues, 20 instances, 20 scenarios. But what about the other 100 or 200 scenarios? You would not have time for that, to learn, or probably because it's quite fast paced, you might not come into that particular situation. It is quite real that it may not happen with you. So how do you do that? Like how do you learn about those other 200 or 300 or 1000 scenarios? So you connect with these people,
Right.
You have this particular thing that okay, like for example in my space I do KYC research, so I am like okay, I will do end to end from here to here, but what happens after that? Okay, how does that file or case or something like that end, and once it ends, then what happens with it? What will that information do? So then I learned that there is something called as account management, and if you're more introverted, okay, and if you are like, oh, I don't want to get into all those things, why should I get into all those things? You might have that one problem that you will never know what is beyond there.
Exactly.
And sometimes you might miss out on something really important that can change your whole situation. That because I knew I was able to help this particular person, because you are like one-stop shop for all the information. So this particular practice that I started off, like talking to people and getting into that zone of asking questions and being curious. Okay, sometimes people are curious, but because of their introverted nature, they will not ask that question. They will feel that, why should I take that extra step? What if it gets me into certain trouble and all? But I think the best part about my situation was that I was okay to make mistakes and learn from it, and I didn't want to get stuck over there. So that helped me a lot to connect with people and understand. And today I will tell myself that okay, I am doing better because I feel I did that one extra effort of asking that what particular person that what do you do? How can I do this? Or how can I get this done? And that has helped me a lot to network further.
Exactly, because you work for an industry, you're not a solopreneur, right?
Correct.
You're not flying solo.
Correct.
And even it was awkward for me to do small talks. Okay. So what I learned by myself is that, look, observe things. If I walk up to you, maybe I'll look at your desk and I will instantly ask something about it. I remember recently there was this lady with whom I need to connect, and she was having this plant on her desk, and I asked her, okay, what is this plant? She said it's a snake plant. And that is something which was really surprising for me. And what is this? A snake plant? And I said, is it venomous? Does it bite? And it just, it's like it worked like an icebreaker, and it instantly, cheered her, and I felt good about it. And further, the conversation was very smooth.
Correct.
It's just fascinating.
Yes, and it's quite interesting. Sometimes a very random conversation might spark a certain relationship or a connection that can go miles in the future, and probably help you in a certain way, maybe not monetarily, but maybe in a way that you have some good connections, and because of which you are able to maintain that social interaction, and help you lead a sort of a healthy life in terms of your psychology as well. Because I think without networking, I don't think so, or this is my personal opinion, I can be wrong as well, but I think it also affects your mental health and well-being as well, right? Is somewhat I am trying to get at.
Yeah, because they are humans too.
Correct.
And everyone are learners and thinkers, and you need to understand and stand by them. And you mentioned when you think from a long-term perspective, think of it as a long game. It's you have to be consistent with your effort, and it's not just like a one-time thing. Okay, maybe once in a month or twice in a month, you need to maybe drop a message or ask for a well-being, or at the start when we mentioned that you need to be patient before it fruitify.
Correct.
So you have to show care, and you have to show enthusiasm or interest in people's life, or else if you don't this thing, it will doesn't appear authentic.
Correct. I think this brings me to the next question, is that okay, networking effort should be there, but when do you realize, or how do you do it, to be very precise, is how do you do it without overstepping? Like, you don't get into that uncomfortable zone.
Maybe you can just directly ask to the person that are you comfortable, are you okay, or maybe this is something I need, do you have time for this? Because I took a while, maybe a month or two, to create a healthy connection, or to build a background of a little. And like what we are doing now, everyone is aware that we are into podcasting, and people are connecting and giving us feedback. And there have been instances when we are replying back to people and telling them that we would like to have them over, and on an ongoing basis we do keep on messaging them, and we keep on discussing these things. So being in constant connection, I think that is the key.
Okay. Yes. And to add to this, like, you always have to understand that everyone is not there all the time.
Right.
Yeah. There can be an instance where you might be badgering a person by constantly going back and forth with them. So you have to also understand sometimes that you have to learn to step back, give them some time to revive themselves, probably do a monthly connect rather than a weekly or a daily connect. So, but again, that is something that you have to gauge by yourself, right? Like you understand that, okay, talking to this person, probably 2 minutes or 5 minutes, you run into a conversation with them, and you see how they're able to hold up a conversation with you or not. So accordingly, you understand that, okay, the level of connect that you have, then accordingly you can do that monthly or a weekly or probably or fortnightly connect with them, so that they know that, okay, this is happening. Of course, you can't do it with thousands of people, but at least doing it with 5 to 10 people will give you that confidence to gauge a certain situation, that okay, this is the limit of this particular thing, and I think I should limit it monthly, weekly as such.
I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe we can look into at the 80-20 rule. If you approach 100 people, maybe 20 might turn up. And from the recent incident when you told me that we were trying to get this amazing individual with the resource of knowledge on our podcast as a guest, and apparently it is easy for people to say no rather than yes, but the person did say yes at first and later was not comfortable and was dodging your calls and
Correct.
ghosting you or ignoring you, but that is a message for us to understand, like you mentioned, that maybe we are badgering or we are overstepping.
Correct.
So that's the signal.
Mhm.
Take it as a clue, and maybe we can step back and we can move on to other people for networking.
Correct. And I make this one effort that even if they say no or whatever, but I ensure that okay, it is not only about that. I just pop in and say hi, hello, how are you doing, and just have a connect with them. Sometimes go to their desk and say hi, hello, and sometimes if I have some additional or extra sweets, I just give it to them and see how they are doing and everything. So I connect with them at least once or twice in a month, so that they know that okay, I'm not only for that, I also genuinely am trying to connect.
Right.
It's just that you don't have time, so it's not anybody's fault. It's just that things don't work. So it's like you shouldn't get into the breakup mode that just because you didn't come or talk to me, I should also stop doing my effort.
That should not break your relationship. It's just we asked and we moved on.
Yeah. And so what is this one thing you can this particular question is specifically for every and any individual, okay? And what is that one thing you can do today or this week to grow their network without feeling fake? How should we go about it? First thing,
from a digital networking perspective, maybe just a small messages and hi, just or maybe a like on a post, or maybe just a call, but remembering the fact about the conversation, because you can't directly jump and ask for a favor, but you have to go through the process of small talks. There is this fascinating quote I read, that your network is your net worth, and it is widely attributed to Porter Gale, who was a VP of marketing, and he's also an author of a book, Your Network is Your Net Worth. In his book, the ideas were that we need to look at the opportunities. Okay. By that, I guess he means is that the relationship and the connections you build professionally and personally can be just as valuable as your bank account.
Correct.
If you're looking for an opportunity and you know this person and he is at a certain position, he or she is a certain level, and there's another position vacant and that person has power to refer you. So basically this will increase your network, right? And especially in careers, in business, or maybe even in entrepreneurship, or who you can often open the doors that you want to know alone. And look at this from the opportunities perspective, or maybe you have to be visible. That is one of the reasons we say that always stay connected.
Correct.
Or be in people's mind, so they remember that you're looking for this opportunity, and if something similar comes up, people are generally nice and kind, so they will reach out to you, looking at you, having the helping nature and the kind nature.
Correct. And yeah, I mean, it's not only about opportunities, but sometimes it's all about support and guidance. Sometimes it's about visibility, because the name of the game in corporate is it's like if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. Right. So if you don't hear from this particular person, you would feel like, oh, they just moved on. But if you're constantly, or at least making that effort to say hi, so at least you're visible that, oh, this person is trying to connect with this particular person. Next is, or probably the most important thing that I've always done through my networks, is learning. My constant need for that curiosity, whenever there is always a question, I am always curious that why is this happening. With my team members as well, I do this one session at least twice in a week, that whenever there is a problem, then I get into that thing that, oh, why aren't you curious about this? Why aren't you curious to solve this by yourself? Why don't you check this? Why don't you check that? I know it is annoying to say that continuously. That's why I don't do it on a daily basis. I think I do it once or twice in a week. So I am like very, I'm able to get that message across my team is that let's be curious. Like if that curiosity is there in learning, then I think that also helps you to network quite well over there. And I think it's quite important that if you have networking not only to have financial gain or professional gain, but also for learning, support and guidance as well is also added with that, then I think it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes your network can be based on purely your interests. Like okay, I like me personally, I love tech, so I will connect with tech people, or check with people within the industry. Oh, how is this tech going? I have this one person who is really interested in bikes or automobiles. So I asked this particular person that, oh, what do you think is this? Or what do you think is that? Do you think this is right? So that way you have conversations with people from different industries.
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I guess that's how it works.
Correct. I think me and you, we connected because we were in the same office doing the same work, and then at some point of time you moved on to something like, oh, I want to do this, and you got into audits and stuff.
I remember you used to post on your WhatsApp status the figures of superheroes, and I used to always react to it.
Yes.
It's just a common, and we share mutual enthusiasm
Yes.
for superheroes.
Correct.
And apparently that is how we stay connected. You were visible to me.
Yes.
And few weeks, months, years down the line, I asked you to be as a guest on the podcast, and you have been like really generous and kind to join me. So I guess that's how it works, and that's how we are growing.
Correct. Now, a very burning question that I have is that in the age of now that new people are coming in office, like they're freshers and they're slightly like experienced in 1 or 2 years of experience. So probably if you look at them, so how do you feel? Like, are they really good with networking? What is your opinion as such?
I think they are really good at networking because you ask them for any help and they will know some person that knows some person that knows some person who does that, and that is like really a good chain of connections what they have. I remember talking to one of these younger folks, and she told me that she was working for McDonald's, and when she was just 17 years old, and imagine a group of young people, 17 years old, and the store owner or the manager of the McDonald's chain was just 23 years old. And I'm talking about these people who do not fold their bedsheet, and they are running like a $1 million turnover based business on a daily basis, and they are more open to ideas, and they challenge status quo, and they are like really going out and getting things done. It is much easier for them to do things, and they have this resource and this group of people, like they have access to ChatGPT. We didn't have it. We just had Google as a friend, and it was just limited sources, not this language model was to think and give answers to that. So I think it's a great time and opportunity for them, and basically when they get opportunity to work with such McDonald's or maybe in bars where they look into the inventory, they look into the advertising, they look into networking, it gives them the huge exposure.
Correct.
So I think exposure or the opportunities is what that teaches them. Or now it's not for you or for me to leave job and try and do something like that, but coming from that experience or background, I think it's easier for them to navigate through these challenges.
One thing I want to add over here is related to these recent grads, specifically these MBA grads or these tech grads that come in. I think I stumbled upon this one Reddit post about are these IIM MBAs worth it? Like why are people spending so much of money? So this one guy said that okay, I have done my graduation from IIM Bangalore, and and trust me, that was the best investment I ever made, because I got an access to this particular group of people. I think he said that okay, it was like 27-30 lakhs of worth of MBA education, and I paid that money for that one WhatsApp group, okay,
Mhm.
which has like these 200 250 people, okay, and these people are so well connected and well networked that if you happen to go suddenly into that particular town, okay, and you want to know that okay, where is the doctor, or where can I get this and this stuff, and you just post it on that group, and even in like early morning or midnight as such, you post anything and you want something, and these people will be really more helpful to you.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was this one situation where they needed some medical support for certain things, and this guy was new in that particular town or that part of the town, so he said, okay, where can I get so and so thing or medical support for my mother? And someone responded back in like minutes, and they connected over a call, and within half an hour they were on their way to that particular doctor. So it was not only sort of professional, but it was also personal help that he got. So the idea is that, as you already mentioned, that your network is your net worth. Sometimes, yes, in a certain situations, yes, it is. And in this case, like a lot of people will say, oh, why to do post graduation from IIM and those ISBs, and why to go through so much of hassle and put money. I think it is not because of the education, but it is for the network. Because I remember 10 years back I met this particular professor who said that your deals are not happening in corporate offices. Your deals are happening in restaurants, and yes, and I think Bangalore and Pune have that particular culture where they have these specific cafes you can go to, and you can even pitch ideas.
Connect and
Yeah, so that is one another example. So, and I think everyone shits on Bangalore as a place. Oh, it is not
Silicon Valley.
yeah, and it has so much of traffic and weird people and all that stuff. But then at the end of the day, the deals are happening over there because the network is quite strong. And today, that particular place is still thriving. While if you see Mumbai, like Western Mumbai, it is struggling to get business now because things are expensive. People are not connected. And a lot of companies are moving out, so it is a sort of a situation where we are seeing a downfall, and probably someday if we don't network properly and help each other out, probably Mumbai might lose their particular status symbol that it first enjoyed like 10-20 years back.
Never know.
Yeah. And any final thoughts?
Just I would like to sign off with a thought network isn't a shortcut. It's a slow build strategy. It's less about who know you and more about how well you stay connected. And it's not about being visible. It's about being visible and more valuable. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think it's quite important to understand that networking will not only help you personally, professionally, but also create sort of a value system or a value change probably. And if you are valuable in terms of knowledge, guidance as well, or even sometimes personally as well, I think that will help you a lot to grow. So quite a lot of things that we discussed are helpful,
Right.
And if people take some interest and listen to this particular piece, I think they might get something out of it. So
Definitely.
another value chain created, another network created.
Another source and another platform for people to learn.
Yes. So thank you so much for this conversation, and I hope our listeners had some enjoyable time listening to this podcast. For such more content, do follow us, and please tell other people to listen to us. and this will help us a lot to make some more interesting content and have some interesting conversations in the future. So thank you so much, and we will meet you for the next session of Corporate Elements. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.